I missed my workout on Monday, but it was my own fault. A couple poor nutritional choices on Saturday snowballed into a full weekend of just eating junk. So by Monday morning, my stomach was just saying a whole bunch of nope to really doing anything, let alone running, let alone doing a workout, a hard workout that I had planned. Now, again, it was my own fault, but it got me thinking. It got me thinking about laying bricks. And no, not those types of bricks. Missing Monday's workout was a bit of a bummer because I was excited about Monday's workout. Now, I have been working on building 5K speed and training for a new 5K PR of 1840. In fact, I made a video about it a few videos back. I'll put a link in the description if you're interested, where I go through my plan and my approach to actually achieving that in 8 weeks. However, in the comments for that video, I got a ton of great feedback. Now, the plan that I put in that video was a sort of similar structure to what I would typically do for a half or full marathon, but 5K training and speed training is quite a bit different. And again, in the comments, there was a lot of great feedback. So I spent the end of last week revising my plan and, really thinking through it, really understanding the comments that I got in that video. I even ran it through ChatGPT, which is something that I do quite a bit, not just for running, but really everything in general. That's probably a whole other video for another day. But even ChatGPT said that it was a good plan, it was a good weekly structure that was going to help get me to my 5K PR goal that I had set. And Monday's workout was going to be the first workout of this new structure, of this new approach to the week. And I was really excited to do that. But again, the poor nutritional choices that I made all weekend, combined to make Monday it was totally a no-go. So I got through Monday. I was feeling sorry for myself, but I knew Tuesday I would go out and get it. And Tuesday morning came and I went out and did the workout. Now, the workout actually went fairly well, but I failed the workout. And as you can see here on the Strava, I even said that on Strava. By the way, if you don't follow me on Strava, follow me on Strava. There'll be a link in the description if you want to see all this stuff that I'm doing on a daily basis. But on the Tuesday workout, I actually failed it, though I had 3 reps running at 3:44 or about 3:45 per kilometer or 6-minute miles. And I was doing 5x1Ks. The first 3, really good. I was really proud of them. But by the 4th one, I could feel my form was falling off. The effort I was putting in was much higher than the previous 3. The time was only a few seconds off, but I could feel that my form and everything was sort of failing. So I shut the workout down at 4 reps. I'm focusing on quality, not quantity. And that's something really important that got me really thinking again about laying bricks. And what is this about laying bricks? What does that have to do with running? Well, it's something I've read about a lot over the years in really any kind of endurance training that I've read about, whether it's triathlon, cycling, or running, or really anything else. And it's the idea of making sure you don't lose sight of your bigger picture, of your training as a whole. You're constantly showing up, putting the work in, putting the work in, putting the work in, putting a brick in, putting a brick in, building that foundation, your aerobic base, your foundational base, whatever you want to call that. And just because you're missing a workout here or there isn't going to derail that work you're putting in the bigger picture. So don't beat yourself up about it. In fact, when I ran my plan through ChatGPT, even ChatGPT told me in the advice that I shouldn't hesitate to adjust this if I needed to, because what I don't want to do is risk a more significant setback. And this gets into the point of this video. Running is as mental as it is physical. Just because I really did it to myself that made me miss that important workout on Monday doesn't mean that I'm going to sit here and beat myself up about it. I still got myself out there on Tuesday. I did as much as I could, even though I wasn't 100%. And I look back on that data and I'm thankful. I can see that my foundation and my fitness has improved significantly, even since I started this plan. And I'm proud of that. Even though I didn't complete the workout, even though I didn't even get to run on Monday, I'm not letting that derail me from the bigger picture of things. And that's what's really important here. There's another more poetic way of saying this that I've also heard for quite some time, and it comes from Tommy Rivs. Now, if you don't know who Tommy Rivs is, I'll put a couple links in the description to Tommy Rivs' socials, But essentially, Tommy Rivs is a trail runner, ultra runner, 218 marathoner, someone who's trying to qualify for the U.S. Men's Olympic team back in 2020. And at the height of his sort of approach to that, he was struck down with a very rare form of cancer, kind of out of the blue. And he spent the next 2-3 years basically dead fighting this thing. He was in a coma for a long time. Through that process, he lost about 75% of his lung capacity, which for a elite athlete is, that kind of ends that career. But Tommy is persistent and he has come back. He has come back to running. In fact, he's run Boston, I believe, twice now since he's sort of recovered some of this. It's a lot of run walk because, again, he doesn't have the lung capacity, but Tommy's still out there getting it done. He's still out there doing it. And if I go back to 2018, 2019, which is about when I first found Tommy and his brother on podcasts where they were talking a lot about run motivation, that's where Tommy was always talking about this metaphor of rings on a tree. Now, if you look at the growth rings on a tree, they represent a season or a year of that tree's growth. And they tell the story of everything that happened to that tree during that year or season of growth. And Tommy's talked about rings of a tree in many ways over the years, but this quote specifically is one that stands out to me, especially now post 2020 and what happened to Tommy, because I think it has a whole different resonance. Our scars tell the stories of our lives just like rings on a tree. And the way I've always related that back to running is that there's struggles that we all go through as runners. The mental struggles. Can I do this? Am I fast enough? Why am I doing this? The failed workouts and how that makes us doubt, can we go forward? Can we actually do this? Are we actually able to do any of this stuff? All of that stuff builds up over time. And every time you complete one of those runs or workouts, you're adding another ring to your tree, to your running endurance, to your running story. And that's kind of beautiful. It's very poetic. And lastly, I'll leave you with this. Clayton Young. Now, Clayton is the second qualifier for the U.S. Men's Olympic Marathon team behind Connor Mance. And Clayton has had a YouTube channel, it seems, since 2011. However, he's only been uploading to it for the past couple weeks. And what it seems like his plan is to upload weekly videos chronicling his entire build to the Olympic Games, to the marathon in Paris this summer. And they're 3 episodes in, and I have to say this is some of the best content I have seen on YouTube in some time. Not just running YouTube, but YouTube in general. He's working with a videographer by the name of Andrew Storr. I'll put a link to his Instagram and his YouTube channel, though there's nothing on his YouTube channel. He's only uploading to Clayton's channel. But Andrew is doing an amazing job with the cinematography of these videos, the pacing, the editing, the interviewing of Clayton, and really getting into the details of Clayton's build. And you're getting all the details that you expect from this type of content. You're hearing Clayton talk about shoes and his interactions with Connor and the rest of his training group and his coach. You're seeing lots of workout footage, and it's all what you would expect. But also Andrew's doing a really good job of interviewing Clayton, intermixed in all the other footage in these videos. And these interviews are very transparent. They're very much getting into what Clayton is thinking about, what he's worried about during this build. And that level of transparency is not something that we often see from pro or elite athletes in the running space or really any other space. And where this really resonated for me was yesterday when episode 3 came out. Now, episode 2, last week's video, ended with Clayton sort of not nailing a key workout, a workout that he was going to use to kind of gauge where he was. He's coming off some injury. He was really kind of focused on this workout, and it didn't go to plan. So episode 3 starts where it's very somber, and the interview is really him talking through a lot of how he's been struggling, making sense of where he is right now. And in there is this quote, "I was coming off getting work last week, and yeah, I guess there was a sense of urgency." And that really hit me because I saw this on Tuesday. I saw this right before I was going to go out on that failed workout, and it kind of solidified like the amount of effort I was going to put into that, because here's Clayton. He's one of the top pro elite runners out there, and he's struggling with this stuff, and he's feeling like he's behind. He's got that urgency because he feels like things are going off the rails. So a lot of episode 3 was him sort of working through that, calming himself down, focusing back on the basics. In fact, bringing this all full circle, his coach even mentions the idea of laying bricks in the video when Clayton is nailing reps in a larger workout. his coach is saying, yep, we're laying down bricks. And that just brought it all full circle to me. And it just made me smile because it made me realize that as runners, we struggle with things. Like I said, the mental aspect of running is just as important as the physical aspect. And even for a pro elite runner to feel like they're behind, to feel that urgency, and to share that transparency here on YouTube is great. And that helps us regular non-elite runners really make sense of what we're working on and making sure we stay on track too. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. If you find this content useful, consider subscribing. You'll see more content from me pop up in your feed. If not, drop a like on this video because it helps this channel continue to grow, which I always appreciate. And with that, I'll catch you in the next one.